Welcome back. Page-turning revelations about former President Donald Trump's years in office, documented in a new book, Tired of Winning, by ABC News Chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl, including some revelations about Wisconsin.
Jonathan joins us now from Washington. Jonathan, welcome to Upfront.
Thank you for having me.
Jonathan, I want to dig into some of your Wisconsin references in the book. You talk about this moment ahead of 2016 when Trump was endorsed by David Duke, Reince Priebus, RNC chair at the time from Wisconsin, writes that he was horrified that Trump didn't denounce Duke and called Chris Christie to try to intervene. You write that now ahead of 2024, Trump no longer has advisors like Christie or Priebus. What do you mean by that? What kind of context behind that?
This is exactly an illustration of what I just mentioned. You had a situation in 2016 where David Duke endorsed him, and Trump absolutely refused for a time to renounce that endorsement, even though David Duke is the leader of the KKK, neo-Nazi, all of that. Trump did not want to upset any of David Duke's followers. As he told Chris Christie, they vote too. But eventually he did. Trump came around and he renounced the endorsement and condemned David Duke, largely because Chris Christie, at the urging of Reince Priebus, told him he absolutely had to. Fast forward to just last year, Trump announces he's running for president, and he has a dinner at Mar-a-Lago with Kanye West and with Nick Fuentes, an avowed white supremacist. And it creates a fury. Republicans everywhere, this is a terrible thing. Why is he dining with Kanye West, who has praised Adolf Hitler and said terribly anti-Semitic things, and Nick Fuentes, who is a white supremacist? But there's nobody around Trump to do what Christie and Priebus did.
Jonathan, you document Trump's continued false claims that he won states that he didn't, like Wisconsin. When you look at the overall attempt to stay in power, how critical was Wisconsin in that plan?
Oh, it was highly critical, and Trump became convinced that Wisconsin, the vote was entirely fraudulent, that there were big mysterious votes that came in late. He's been totally consumed with the idea of undoing the results in Wisconsin, even after Biden's election was certified, even after, as you well know, even after he left the White House.
Yeah, Jonathan, we've documented his push with Republican leaders here to decertify the results. Did you have cooperation from Republicans, any in Wisconsin, that you tried to talk to about the path forward ahead of 2024?
I spoke to many. There weren't in Wisconsin. There weren't as many that were willing to go on the record even after that, and that should tell you something. It's pretty interesting. Even though Republican leaders in Wisconsin knew as well as anybody in the country, because it had been such a focus for Trump, that he had simply lost his mind when it came to the election results. He wouldn't respond to reason. Still pushing into the midterm elections of 2022 to get them the election results undone from 2020. So I did take a pretty deep dive into Wisconsin. Spoke to a lot of Republicans in the state. Not as many on the record as I would have liked, though.
An incredible read. Tired of Winning, ABC News Chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl. Jonathan, hey, great to see you. Thanks for your time.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Up next, Woodward in Wisconsin.